Not gonna lie, I almost forgot to record this. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizard that Reads, and as always guys, it is time for the mid-month wrap-up. Before we get into that, please do me a favor, like this video and subscribe to the channel, as it does help the channel grow, and you can check the description box down below for links to all my social media, including links to the Patreon, the Discord, all my other links. It's all there for you to explore. Now, like I said, last minute, I realized that it was middle of the month, and I forgot to record, so hopefully I don't forget anything. The one book that I don't physically own that I finished right at the start of the month was Hedge Wizard, and the name of the author is going to escape me. But this one was a very interesting read. I gave it 4 stars. I would give it about a B+. I'm undecided if I'm going to continue down the road reading this series we've got Hump, the main character, who's a hedge wizard, and, you know, his master has just died and he inherits these powers. Hedge wizards are looked down as they, access these powers that aren't supposed to be accessed by mortals. Those gifts are kind of gifted to chosen of the gods, and so hedge wizards tap into that and they're looked down upon. And this is just kind of a Motley Crue dungeon diving style of book. It's a lot of fun, and I'm interested to figure out what happens next, all while not absolutely being completely head over heels in love with the series quite yet as of the end of the first book. But I think I'll continue at some point, just not in the immediate future, if that makes any sense. And then I've got a stack of books to talk about. In fact, I should separate what's been read versus what's not been read. And at the start of the month, I thought, this month is going abysmally bad. I'm not getting anything completed. And now I've done 6 books. So it just all seems to have coalesced right here in the middle of the month. And we've got a stack of books to show you. Now, I just finished this last night. This is A.R. Witham's The Crimes of Rooker Flint. I'm actually recording my review of this tomorrow. I would give this a 4.5 out of 5 or an A grade rating. I really, really enjoyed it. I don't know, this is a lot darker than I was anticipating, despite the fact that it's got a bunch of spiders on the cover. It just kind of threw me for a loop that I wasn't quite prepared for. So I'm still percolating on my thoughts here, but the next video I'm recording is going to be my dedicated book review for this. Huge thank you to AR for sending this my way. I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed it. And if you want to check out the audiobook, it's narrated by the man himself, and I think he did an amazing job of narrating his own book. So that's this one. And then next up, we've got Horns. Now, Horns, Death Stalker, and The Black Crown. These are three of the next books I'm going to talk about. I've got a batch review of these coming up on the channel. Needless to say, each one of these was no less than 4 stars, or I would say a B rating. Except for Horns. Horns gets an A+, 5 out of 5 so far. I think this is my book of the month. I really, really enjoyed this. I have so much love for this story. I want to get a special edition of it, but it's not financially feasible right now. The Suntop edition, which is the one I want to get, the gift edition, is ungodly expensive on the secondhand market. Retail was $85, secondary is $350. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to hold out, and maybe someday in the future I'll be able to get a special edition of this, but just not right now. Then we've got Death Stalker. This is just really good, pulpy 1950s parody style sci-fi that's just going to scratch an itch. It's so incredibly good. I had so much fun with this story. The villains are just, sunken debauchery, and we got a bunch of anti-heroes, and there's a lot of humor and some silly AIs. I really enjoyed this story. Huge shout out to Heidi for getting me to read this one. I can't wait to continue this series. I've already got the second audiobook down. This one's it's so much fun. It's not going to be anything that's going to blow your hair back. I'd give this one probably a B+ to an A-, 4 out of 5. Really good stuff. But, it's pure, just unhinged entertainment. I don't know if that makes sense. It's not crazy or zany or anything, but I don't know, this one's just, it's pure entertainment. I just have a lot of love for it. So that's Death Stalker. And then we've got The Black Crown, another review copy from John A. Douglas. This is The Age of Adventures. And this is one of the first books I think I've read in a long time, other than the, I don't want to say Gentleman Bastards, The Grey Bastards, that's what it is, by Jonathan French. It's one of the few stories I've read with orc main characters, so that means it's not something that's just been absolutely done to death. And I just absolutely appreciate John taking risks with the stories. There's a twist on the Chosen One trope that I really appreciated. There's a coming together found family. We've got something that's inspired by like the Dungeons and Dragons, Dragonlance books from the late 80s and early 90s. This is just something so reminiscent of those. And if you haven't checked this out, I highly recommend you do so, because for a debut, this was amazing. I'd give this one a B+ to an A- as well, 4 out of 5. Really good story. It's about 650 pages with gorgeous cover art by J. Caleb Design. And I don't know, I really enjoyed this because we're set in a world where adventuring is supposed to be like a thing of the past. No more dungeon delving or any of that. But we've essentially got a world where adventuring is supposed to be coming to an end. Like, all the dungeons have been delved, all the loot has been claimed, all the guilds are shutting down. It's just a really interesting story and a good twist on the Chosen One trope. There was a twist in there. I still don't know how I feel about said twist, but I respect John for taking that twist, and we'll see how it pans out, because where this ends is just fantastic. Rags is a interesting character because he's sheltered, he's gullible, he's naive, and yet you get to see him grow on the page as the story progresses. So I really, really enjoyed that. And then I also finished The Silence of the Unworthy Gods by Andrew Rowe. This is another really good one. Also, amazing performance by Nick Bodell. Love Nick Bodell. This is, again, book number 4 of Arcane Ascension, which I have great timing with this, because literally the day after I finished this one, book 4 dropped on ebook. But I think I'm going to hold out for that audio, because I've still got Edge of the Wild to get through. And this is interesting because there were moments in this that made me like fist pump and kind of punch the air and just have a really, really good time with it. I could also see the argument that this book could be a hair preachy. There are certain times where Corin is talking to himself about an idyllic society and what society can do to be better. And it felt like a mirror to our own society. And sometimes when I'm reading, like, I don't mind those things, but it was a bit heavy here in this book of, like, what we can do better to be a better society. And I don't know, like, what critique I would give, because I don't mind it being there, but at the same time, I still noticed it, which kind of pulled out my immersion just a hair from the story. And I agree with everything that Andrew Rowe says in here. I'm not criticizing the author's viewpoints or anything like that. Like, I agree a lot of the stuff proposed in here could make society better. But at the same time, it just, I don't know, it kind of broke my immersion just a little bit. I really enjoyed this one. So if I'm going to give it a rating, I'm going to say 4.5 out of 5. We're going to say this gets an A. It's really good. I'm very excited for book 5. I know he's working on book 6 next. Arcane Ascension is just something special. It's about love. It's about caring. It's about taking care of your friends and your families and those who can't take care of themselves, standing up for yourselves, getting over and overcoming traumas and things of that nature. A lot of that is in here. Sacrificing for your friends and your family, treating everybody with love and respect, all while having some really awesome combat in here. I love Andrew Rowe's work so incredibly much, and I'm excited to have the 5th book in my hands when I think the physical print takes like another week to process after the author hits publish on Amazon, so you can expect to see that on my shelf and in my collection here fairly soon. And then, what am I currently reading? Well, I am currently reading Pathlighter by Rob Leigh. I am 15% into this. It's a desert fantasy. We've got some chosen ones. I say chosen ones as in more than one plural. I'm loving this. This is really, really good. Did I say I was 15% in? I don't know. I'm not listening to myself speak, but I'm having a lot of fun with this. And then initially I started Way of Shadows on Everrand because they had the graphic audios, and I wanted to try graphic audios. Not my jam. Plus they're abridged, there's like music and all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to be getting the regular audiobook for Brent Weeks' A Way of Shadows. But in the meantime, I am doing the Black Prism Brent Weeks. This is a reread for me. And I'm going to air quotes reread. I read Black Prism in, I think, 2018 or 2019. And then I started book 2, The Blinding Knife. I don't know if I actually finished it. I don't have that memory. Like, part of me says, you read Blinding Knife. And the other part of me says, well, you started it, but you never finished it. So I'm starting this series over from scratch. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm having a lot of fun with this. It's good to be back in this world. Whether or not the series sticks the landing for me, I'm going to keep going with the series until it doesn't work for me anymore. So I'm really enjoying the Black Prism. I'm about 12 chapters in as of today. Like, I started this today. And then the 3 other books that I have to read this month is The Martyr, Way of Shadows, and A Warrior's Path by Davis Ashura. Those are my for sure going to try and get to by the end of the month. Hopefully by the monthly wrap-up I'll have more than that. But that's all I've really got for today, guys. I hope you're doing well. Please let me know in the comments how your reading has been going. How's your mental health doing? Are you doing okay? Stay hydrated, all that sort of stuff. Till next time, guys. Peace out. Stay magical. Bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons. Thank you for supporting my passion and my hobby. It means the world to me.